I'll warn you right now, this might hit close to home if you've ever found yourself staring at charts for hours, second-guessing what should have been a simple trade decision. Picture this scenario. You spot what looks like the perfect setup. Your indicators align, price action looks clean, and everything screams buy or sell. But then something happens. You start checking just one more time frame. Then another indicator. Maybe a quick glance at economic news. Before you know it, 30 minutes have passed and that crystal clear opportunity has either vanished completely or you're entering way too late with way too much doubt. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Today we're diving deep into one of the most destructive habits plaguing traders at every level, the perfectionist trap. And here's the kicker. The very thing you think is making you a better trader is actually sabotaging your success in ways you probably don't even realize. Let me tell you about Marcus, a trader who came to me with what seemed like a winning system. On paper, his strategy was solid. Simple trend-following rules, clear entry signals, defined risk management. The backtest looked beautiful. But Marcus had developed what I call analysis paralysis. What should have been a 5-minute decision turned into hour-long sessions of checking every possible angle. He'd examine multiple time frames, scan through economic calendars, read market sentiment reports, and even check social media for any hint of market-moving news. By the time he finally pulled the trigger, if he pulled it at all, the move was either over or he entered with such hesitation that he immediately started questioning his position size and stop-loss placement. Here's what's really happening in your brain during these moments of overanalysis. Your rational mind thinks it's being thorough and responsible. But your emotional brain is actually hijacking the process. Fear of being wrong, fear of losing money, and fear of missing out create this internal storm that clouds what was initially clear decision-making. The cruel irony? The more information you consume in these moments, the less confident you become. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. Instead of gaining clarity, you're drowning in data points that often contradict each other. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you watched a trade setup develop perfectly, only to talk yourself out of it because you found some minor conflicting signal? How often have you entered late, reduced your position size, or set stops too tight because doubt crept in during your extended analysis sessions? This behavior creates a vicious cycle. Poor execution leads to mediocre results, which increases self-doubt, which leads to even more overanalysis on the next trade. Before you know it, you're trading a completely different strategy than what you originally tested and proved profitable. Let me share a powerful analogy that changed how one of my students viewed this problem. Imagine a lion hunting in the wild. The lion doesn't spend endless time analyzing every possible outcome. It observes, waits for the right moment, and strikes with decisive action. There's no second-guessing, no checking weather conditions for the third time, no wondering if maybe it should wait for better positioning. Now imagine a second lion that starts overthinking every detail. Every sound becomes a potential threat to analyze. Every shadow needs investigation. Every breeze requires consideration. By the time this lion decides to act, dinner has walked away. The first lion eats. The second lion goes hungry. Successful trading requires the mindset of that first lion. Yes, preparation matters. Yes, analysis has its place. But there comes a moment when continued analysis becomes procrastination disguised as diligence. Here's where things get really interesting. Research shows that traders who spend excessive time analyzing often perform worse than those who make quicker decisions based on their predefined criteria. Why? Because overanalysis typically stems from emotional discomfort, not logical necessity. Your brain is desperately searching for certainty in an uncertain environment. But here's the harsh truth, that certainty doesn't exist. No amount of additional analysis will eliminate the risk inherent in trading. At some point, you have to accept uncertainty and act anyway. So how do you break free from this perfectionist trap? First, recognize the psychological triggers. Most overanalysis stems from fear-based emotions. When you catch yourself diving deeper into analysis after your initial assessment, pause and ask yourself honestly, am I gathering truly useful information, or am I avoiding discomfort? Second, establish decision deadlines. Give yourself a specific time frame to analyze a potential trade. When that time expires, you either execute according to your rules or you walk away. No exceptions. This prevents those endless loops of analysis that destroy good opportunities. Third, simplify your decision-making framework. The most successful traders I know use surprisingly simple systems. They identify a few key factors that matter most and ignore everything else. More indicators don't equal better trades. In fact, they usually create more confusion and contradiction. I worked with a trader named Sarah who struggled with this exact issue. She was using 7 different indicators, checking 4 time frames, and consulting 3 different news sources before every trade. Her results were inconsistent and frustrating. We stripped her system down to 2 primary indicators and 1 confirmation signal. Her performance improved dramatically within weeks. Here's a mental exercise that can help rewire your trading psychology. Before your next trading session, visualize yourself executing trades calmly and decisively. Imagine encountering minor setbacks, small retracements, temporary drawdowns, unexpected news events. Picture yourself staying calm and sticking to your original plan despite these normal market fluctuations. This mental rehearsal builds psychological resilience. When you encounter uncertainty during actual trading, your brain has a template for calm, decisive action rather than panicked overanalysis. Another powerful technique is what I call the pre-flight checklist approach. Before market open, define exactly what conditions will trigger your trades. Write them down in simple, unambiguous language. Then, during trading hours, you're simply checking boxes rather than making complex decisions under pressure. Remember, the market rewards execution, not perfection. A decent strategy executed consistently will always outperform a perfect strategy that's implemented hesitantly or inconsistently. Your job isn't to predict the future with absolute certainty. Your job is to respond appropriately when your predetermined conditions are met. The traders who achieve long-term success understand this fundamental truth. Doing less often leads to earning more. Every moment spent in unnecessary analysis is a moment that could be spent on proper position management, trade review, or mental preparation for the next opportunity. I want to leave you with this challenge. For your next 10 trades, set a strict 15-minute limit for analysis. When 15 minutes is up, you either execute according to your rules or you skip the trade entirely. No exceptions, no extensions, no justifications. You'll likely feel uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is your brain's addiction to overanalysis trying to maintain control. Push through it. Trust your preparation. Trust your rules. Trust that uncertainty is normal and that hesitation won't eliminate it. The path to trading mastery isn't about analyzing every possible scenario. It's about developing the mental discipline to act decisively when conditions align with your strategy. When you master this skill, you'll discover that clarity replaces confusion, confidence replaces doubt, and profitable execution replaces perfect analysis. Your trading account will thank you for making this shift. More importantly, you'll finally start seeing the results that match the quality of your strategy. Because at the end of the day, the best strategy in the world is worthless if perfectionism prevents you from executing it properly. Stop overanalyzing and start overachieving. Your future profitable self is waiting on the other side of decisive action.